Here we go. Welcome, welcome. And good evening to Ray. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I don't know if anyone watching us right now since we're just coming up, but good evening to Ray.
Good evening, Amy. How you doing?
Uh, I bless God. Can't complain. God is good. That's all I can say. We wake up in the morning. We see the daylight. No, you know, we're not sick.
Right.
We're not limping. We're not, no bad news. All you can say is bless
Absolutely.
God. Thank God, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
That's all we can do. Yeah, so hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nightly Exchange. Um, you can find us on Facebook and YouTube on Liberal Watch News. And please, when you get to those platforms, please subscribe and follow and share the show. Hey, Tommy, welcome. Um, and welcome everyone else who watching us and not commenting. We would appreciate it if you're watching us and comment. We want it to be an interactive, community, right? Today we don't want to be the only one sitting on here and just talking and talking to not everyone of our business, right? Just because we're sitting up here, so it doesn't mean you can't give your input. You can't be chatting with us while you're in a you're in a comment session. Let's make it engaging and talking about Liberia, talking about what's going on in our country and everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? We're here to talk about it all on this platform, and this is an independent platform. So anyone, like we always say, we welcome everyone from all political parties to come on here and let's discuss Liberia. And sometimes they get heated. We got everyone on here have a side. I'm not a journalist. I'm not. I'm just sitting here. Sometimes somebody else may host, and some like Touré and other guys. But we all have our sides. But at the end of the day, Liberia, take the bigger piece of everything that we on here talking about. But welcome this evening again. Sorry for the delay, Touré. Um, we will try to get it together. We'll continue to apologize till we get it together, right, Touré? So
That is absolutely true.
yeah, welcome and share the show. Share the show. Sharing is caring, from like you say. And let's discuss Liberia. So today we're on the menu. We have the invitation to President Boakai by Donald Jamar Trump. The black people call it Jamar Trump.
Oh,
Donald Jamar Trump, Donald J. Trump. Um,
Donald
um,
Jeremiah Trump.
there you go. Donald Joseph Trump. All the
Yes.
J's you will carry. So
Donald,
yeah, the
Donald
invitation.
Josiah Trump.
All the J's he will get it. The invitation, including four other African countries or five other
Four other
African.
African leaders. Yes, four other
Yes,
African leaders.
we were invited to Washington on the 9th to the 11th. I don't know. I'm not too excited about that. I don't know if it's because it's Donald Trump or something, but yeah, that's one of our topic. And then we're gonna talk about not much. We're gonna talk about the indictment. I'm getting confused with this case now. I'm talking about indicting all of the suspects of the Capitol fire. I thought they were already indicted. They are already been indicted, but they're talking about indicting them again. So we're gonna talk about that, and we're also gonna talk about a vacation job, something that I seen by the labor minister. I have some kind of student gathering for to launch a vacation job that he the labor ministry. We're gonna look into that also. So I think those are the three things we have on the menu for now. If we can talk about everything, or if we have more, that'll be you know okay. So with that, what's in your mind? What do you have going on with you, Toure?
Well, I mean, everything is going well with me. Thank God, obviously, the opportunity to be alive, the opportunity to have the ability to speak to people and just connect with people. That is a blessing that obviously that continues to be given by the Almighty God. But man, just the whole opportunity to be able to sit across from you, virtually and
Oh,
discuss about our country that we cherish and love so much. And try to connect with our viewers, our followers, in the virtual world, on social media and all of that stuff on YouTube, obviously. But yeah, it's great. It's great to be on again once again, Amy. But yeah, discussing the nation, discussing our country. That's an energy that will always be available to do so, and the opportunity to,
right.
to is even is far more special than you would think. So yeah, that's what's on my mind. The progress of our country, the respectability of our country, how the country is actually ascending, opposed to descending on a formal leadership, and everything that's happening in that space. I think Liberia is now being sort of like viewed at, as, as a viable country in a committee of nations. I think Liberia is gradually getting that space and that recognition
Gradually.
to evident to what we have coming about, a topic that you and I are going to obviously get into that invitation. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that we actually discuss that and put it into perspective, because our other brother on the Sacramento tree, they have a total different perspective. So we need to come up with context and and just and just tell them the significance of that, and what this actually means to Liberia and this leadership. Thank you.
No problem. So yeah, we have to talk about that. And every time something happens under this administration, I don't know when we're gonna get away from this, right? People, like you said, from the other side, there's always some kind of comparison. If it's not some pictures of, oh well, our guy did this too, and this is, it, it's starting to look like. I know we always say it and say, "Oh, it was a big mistake that Liberians voted for the former president." But I mean, it may not be him though, but his supporters. That behavior, like with everything, they were how childish. Because that's what that looks like to me, right? If every little thing you have to be like, "Oh, but look, he was taking picture with Joe Biden to overlook," so that like it just looks so like I don't know what to call it, but it's kind of getting overwhelmed. Is draining now. It's gonna it just they're just overdoing everything to raise. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I can just feel like okay, this I think this was a big mistake. Like this past glory, like we can't get past. We can't get. They don't want to get past this guy. Like we should keep talking about it, even though someone else is in power now. He's running the country, but we should always keep talking about this guy. When this other person is doing something, we should always bring him in. And I don't know about you, but I'm just getting so tired of it. What, what do you say to that? I mean,
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. I think it gets tiring. When you have a bunch of narcissists, people that just think of themselves all the time, and not take into consideration how other people feel. It speaks volume to that leadership and to that president. Like I said, I totally agree. Um, you know, a leader become contagious whatever vibe, whatever energy that leader projects, that's what people are gonna obviously you know pick pick up from, right? So if the leader is projecting humility, if the leader is projecting
Right.
uh, civilization, if the leader is obviously projecting kindness and just being humble, then obviously the base will ensue that that's the case. But if the leader is projecting to be pretentiously humble, which of course we see happening, but deep down on him, we see how vindictive he can be at times. Then
Right.
obviously, people gonna pick it back off of that. So that is what it is. And now if you're outside looking in, and all you get is all of these stories and headlines, it become very very consuming and just flat out
Yeah.
exhausting, for lack of better word. So that's what we are saying. And it's just what about, if it's not me, then it did not happen, or it did not exist. And all of these tribute and all of these respect, all of these notoriety that GMB is actually being having these few days, is eating them up. So I mean, but that's what it is, man. That's the country we have. That the politics. That's the style of politics that we have been accustomed to, and that's just what it is. For we just have to take it for the grain of salt. That's what it is.
Yeah. Moving on. Let me see how they'll feel about this. Right. They say hundreds of university students gather at the Ministry of Labor in Monrovia to enroll in a newly reintroduced National Vocational Jobs Program. The initiative led by Labor Minister Councillor Cooper Cryer Sr. is designed to provide jobs opportunity for graduates and young Liberians by placing them in companies across the country. The goal is to help students gain valuable work experience during the vacation program. The program offers hands-on training, skills development, and career building opportunities, making it easier for participants to transition from academic life into the professional world. By equipping the students with practical skills, the initiative aims to improve their long-term employment perspective prospects and contribute to reducing youth unemployment in Liberia. In addition to jobs experience, the program also helps students earn money to cover in essential academic costs such as books and tuition fees for the next school year. Minister Crowd emphasized that the program is part of a broader strategy to invest in the country young and foster sustainable sustainable economic growth by developing a skills workforce. So to read you something with this sounds really good, right? I don't know when is it reintroduced. So I don't know when they had this program for, but it's sounding, you know, I'm really happy about this, but
It's sunny normal daylight.
it's sounding normal day like, but yeah, recently the minister have been on a fire for selling work permits and giving Chinese nationals what is it, waiver for work permits and everything. And now we're seeing this. So what is going on here, right? The minister trying to make up for something and get his, you know, a reputation back on track.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, look, people have to do what people have to do. It's all about when you're put in a kind
Can
of
you lay your phone down?
huh?
So lay on the side, your phone.
So leave my phone inside. Hold on.
You see how that?
All
There
right.
you go. That's better. So now bring
All
him.
right. So basically, if so the kind of position that ministers, and I've been saying this for a very long time. It's not only about giving you the position to be the head.
Mm-hmm.
It's also giving the position for you to have the ability to to improvise, have the ability to innovate, have the ability to bring value, substance to whatever ministry that you are taking or you are in charge of. And I
Right.
think that's what we are seeing right now. If this is another way of he or she trying to boost their reputation,
He.
um, that remains to be seen. But I see this as a positive step in the right direction. When individuals are given opportunity, whether is a job that paying $50 a month, but I experienced that prerequisite experience in a professional setting, you cannot in any way add any value to that. Like there's no value that can supersede that.
Right.
Um, because we know a lot of people that are in government, yeah, you can be street smart and book smart all you want. But if you're
You
not
need
had
to
the
use them.
experience working in a professional environment,
Mm-hmm.
that street smartness and professional approach or professional etiquette, you might not have that. So this is a very good step in the right direction, and I just hope and pray that whosoever is actually pushing this should be given all of the fund necessary to be able to really bring this to light and make what is such a very valuable developmental skill for young professionals and graduates
Yeah,
and professional individual in the country.
this is good to read because the last time he was at the Senate and he was being asked about giving those work permits out. Like, why are you giving what kind of jobs, right? Work permits. Like he
Mhm.
said, oh, there is these jobs that you don't have any Liberians that can do these jobs, right? And the
Right.
senators really tough on him, like, what do you mean? Have you looked? Have you put it in the newspaper? Have how can you tell? They're supposed to be working with these people and uh, 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 um, to know to train them before putting them in these positions. You can't just have them not working with them and then you expect them to know these jobs. So, I mean, you think the senators have some kind of? I know Tommy said he's trying to shut us up, which is right. You think the senators have something to do with this too, for their push and their advocacies that have been going on with the whole work permits? You think this is why the minister is going in this direction now because you're muted.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, look, at the end of the day, that whole weapon saga was something that was legitimate. You can't have a country that have a huge unemployment issue,
Mm-hmm.
but yet you are caught giving employment permits to foreigners. I mean that was definitely a slap in the face of a lot of young men and women in the country. But I mean, somebody was able to flag that, and whatever happened to that, well, that's good. And he bouncing out with this other idea is like, all right, great. So
Yeah.
what I should have done earlier, I refused to do that. Now I got jacked up. Now I need to face the whole drum now. So I think this is another opportunity for him to reinvent himself, you know what I mean, like recalibrate and look at the bigger picture, and that is how can we solve um an old age issue with youth unemployment. And I think this is obviously in the right direction. And this is not going to solve all of the problem, but we're
Mm-hmm.
going to do something. It's going to also encourage education. It's going to improve, and you know what I mean? Because I mean, like if I know a lot of college degree holders in Liberia, they have not had any professional job, and some of them been out of college 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself is a travesty. That in itself is just a very, very unsettling kind of thing. But then again, at least we have somebody in this government that's trying to do something about it. Easy come, easy go. But whosoever give it, whosoever kind of like, engage in an issue like we're talking the other night, um, like last night actually, not even other night, like last night we're talking about, yeah, there is issues that we know that are confronting us as a nation, as a country. But when you have somebody who's trying to do something about it, just by that intention, we should all embrace that and just respect that person, even if they're doing it 50 students at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's better than not doing any student at all, right? So this is the right step in the right direction. Every money company there, every government, every whatever should be able to at least absorb certain number of students in their capacity. I mean, even if you're paying them, small thing, but you're providing a bag of rent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At the end of the month, you're giving at least a bag of rent and maybe a $50. That in itself can go a long way. You know,
Right.
it's all about the experience after all.
Yeah, I think it's. I think so too. I think this should be like. I think there should be something that that shows. This shows that when the senators are doing their jobs, their oversight, responsibility, it bears some kind of fruits, right? The way they were being reinforced for with this work permit, Minas and the Delon and the rest of them, pushing on the minister about the work permits, and he tried to trick them or whatever numbers and stuff, but it was really forceful. And then the civil servant boss too, right? Exposing that there was a lot of Indian nationals who were working with that, that doing jobs that Liberian could have been doing. So I think this is what, if you're doing your job as a senator or a representative, your oversight responsibility, if you're performing it, this shows that something will change. And this is, like you said, it's a step in the right direction, and we should really applaud the minister for it, and also push him to do better, to do more, and to stick, you know because sometimes we see this thing is just for a little bit. You should be consistent with it, that this should last. It shouldn't just be for the news and he stop it. So moving on. I don't know, Toure. I think we have talked about the kids you know, long enough about this whole fire incident at the Capitol. Until now, I'm confused now. What's going on? I just seen this thing today that the former speaker and the rest of the guys are being indicted. I'm like, what do you mean indicted? They were already indicted. Weren't they? Like, I don't know if this is after the grand jury hearing, and they're forwarding them to court now. But let me read a little bit of it here. It said, former Speaker Kofa and others indicted in capital arson case by Melvin Jackson. Um, the grand jury for Maserati County has indicted the former Speaker Joe Falante Kofa and 14 others in connection with the alleged capital arson case. The indictment was filed before Criminal Code A under the jurisdiction of Judge Roosevelt Z. Whaley. This judge name is always popping something. Willie. And these are the indicted. Well, we know all of their names, so we'll just go over them. The defendant faces multiple charges, including criminal attempt to commit murder, criminal mischief, criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitations, criminal solicitation, release of destructive forces, reckless burning of exploding, recklessly endangering another person. Isn't that what uh attempted murder is supposed to be? Well, I guess not. I'm not a lawyer. Let me stop it. According to the indictment, the defendants are accused of arson classified as a second degree felony and additional misdemeanor of the first degree. Our judiciary correspondent reported, yeah, ooh, that's not important. Yeah, so, I don't know if you listened to all the charges that was listed here. And they have been, let me see, two, four, six, eight counts. They have been indicted on 8 counts of criminal, some misdemeanor, second, there's a misdemeanor and
Criminal
second degree.
conspiracy as well, right?
Yeah, criminal conspiracy. Yeah, it's on here too. But this is what I'm saying though. Is this after the grand jury hearing, or what else is going on? I thought these people was already indicted for these crimes.
Well, maybe they just got re-indicted, Amy.
When they were let go.
No, they just did re-indictment on top of re-indictment on top of re-indictment. That tells you the severity of this crime, right? This is no joke. You know, these guys, they really thought they were going to sort of like flex their muscles on the country.
Mm-hmm.
They really thought that they were going to get away with this. You know, and I know, you know, country where things people do get away with a lot of stuff. But this will be the last one that anybody should think in their hopeful mind that somebody will not go to jail and not go to jail for a very long time about this. This is absolutely, you can call this an insurrection, if you will, because it really did, in fact, put stop to, you know, a proceeding, right?
Mm-hmm.
It put people in a very bad situation where people couldn't even go to work in that environment. And that's what some of those indictments are about, right? Reckless endangerment of lives and property, right? These are crimes. You know, these are crimes that go with a high, you know, prison terms, right?
Right.
So this is no joke, right? And to see some of these guys flexing their muscles after being accused of sort of committing a federal crime
Mm-hmm.
against the state, and they just still going with their CDC posture and psychometry vibes. It's disturbing. It really, really is. But
Right.
this right here, this will be a very landmark case that everybody will be watching, a precedence case. That let's see how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
We need to change the narrative. We need to change how we do things in our country. And these are some of the landmark cases that future generation will really, really have interest in to see exactly what happened to these guys. If you guys are let go off of this, then I don't know what kind of crime you have to commit in Liberia for you to have the level of severity compared to this one. Back to you, Amy.
So they are classifying these charges as second degree felony and a misdemeanor of the first degree. So if we are calling this so serious, how come they're watering it down?
Yeah, because obviously,
I know
Liberia
we're
people.
not lawyers here. We just, giving our
Yeah,
opinion on
well,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah. You see, yeah, we don't have to be a lawyer to have our spin on this thing, right? We're just gonna go with the common sense approach to this, right?
Mm,
In as much we're gonna bring common sense to it, but we also understand the severity of what really happened. You
right.
know, it's like setting Congress, like the Capitol building,
On
you know,
fire.
on fire. Like that's like a sacred, national sacred building right there. You know, that
Yeah.
is That is a bigger, if not
And
the,
this was planned and carried out. So how come it's
right.
a second degree? Like this is what I'm saying.
So you know what I mean? It's like someone setting the executive mansion on fire, right? That's how big this is. The executive mansion obviously is the president, and then get to the house, right? So that's these are the most sacred and horror, building in a country. So imagine a
Mhm.
bunch of guys just decide to just set that building on fire, as if to say that was going to help their case of winning the speakership, or at least doing anything to intimidate those the majority black,
Right.
to kind of stand down on that whole issue. Look, I tell you what, we saw other countries in our sub region, like Africa had their own civil instability, but the people did not resort to burning their cities, destroying their businesses. They are very unrest, bro. People were literally, going by their business while they were carrying out it. Anybody who was caught looting or burning property, that person was killed around the spot. Those rebel leaders, they did not play that.
Yeah.
Those group did not play that, right? But a building that survived the Civil War, the 14 brutal, let me not sound like sissy meeting. Um,
We do.
you know what I mean? They building that
Buju. They
with
were war.
school. You know what I mean? Now I can't even say brutals now. You know
I
what I'm
know.
saying? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, right? That the building actually survived that. And when everything is normal now,
No more
Ellen
day.
Kim, Ellen left the buildings too. Chancellor Kim, he left the buildings too, right? President Wia Kim. I mean, a moderate leader like JMB, how? Like, you know what I mean? It just sad. So they need to investigate this, and obviously the investigation, at least the investigation is done now, because now we're seeing indictment, all of that stuff. But
Okay.
perpetrators definitely need
I
to
think
get
this,
their
yeah, yeah, this is
how
right
what
because like when prosecutors go for lesser charges, they do so to get easier conviction. So maybe when you go for like first degree, like let's say for example for murder, you have to prove that beyond all reasonable doubt, right? And it's
exactly.
really hard to prove. So yeah, I think I can see what Lena is saying here and stuff. So
Yeah,
maybe that.
shout out to Councilor Lin Lakbo.
Council. He just has to, maybe he could be. Why am I laughing? I don't even know Lean like that. It's for a profession. So yeah, thank you. Welcome to the show, Sorry. Thank you, Lean. I think you got that right. Sorry, were you listening to us in the back? Or you just church blind?
Well, I was listening.
Okay, so we were talking about the indictment again. I was kind of confused. I don't know.
Okay.
I thought they had already done it. That's why I was telling to asking to read, but I guess this is after the grand jury hearing, because it says here that where was that this jurisdiction? That's the This paved okay, so this indictment paved the way for trial proceeding during the August term of court before criminal court A. So now I think they're now going to try it now to everybody now who are indicted on this. I mean, they are now going to try it, and they're done with the playing around or petty thing, providing uh, 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 evidence and all of that. They're going to try it to the right, even the judge now himself trying them and finding it with juries and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's what we're just talking about before you came. So what is your thought on that? Like we were saying about the degree of the crime that the charges that they were giving them.
Yeah, thank you. And let me say, Toure, hi to you and to everyone watching. And I mean, it's a good thing to be back. Like we have already always gave the process change to play,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously at the end of the day, political opponents going to play their part to play the politics and want to be distracted of the real issue. But the real issue here is everyone agreed that there was a crime and a committed against the state.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone want for due process to be respected. And I want to appreciate the court system for giving people due process. And everyone want for the victim or those that are involved. Because obviously, yeah, the victim is we the Liberian people. And everyone want for the perpetrator to be brought to justice. I think we can all have our disagreement, how it happened, how people have been arrested, based on your own mere political or personal view, which
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes in my mind is not backed by law. Because when you come to this conversation, you gotta be careful how you make certain statement. And you want to discuss it like a lawyer. You want to either you have every side of the law and you're not quoting any specific law as to what violations the government carry on or what are some of the procedures that were not abide by.
Mm-hmm.
So there were some other thought to from at those who claim to be uh the Facebook lawyer. I want to call it
Go legal minds.
I mean the backdoor lawyer. So they want to get all their own perspective from. I mean the thing about just explaining law is not just a theory, just going and explaining. I mean, you're not bringing any facts, and any statistical fact as to what prevent this from not happening and what should have happened. So, I mean, I've always been careful on this case, but the only thing all of us will not disagree on, like I said, it is
Mm-hmm.
we want justice, and justice must prevail because Ture was scratching a very point here. Sometimes I always sit and say, for us to have a developed country, we need to develop a mind because when
Oh
people
yeah.
when people have you kind of a toxic mind and they feed them, if it is not mean, it should not be other people, and nobody looking at the overall goal of the country, then we are in serious trouble.
It's
Because
dangerous.
if we had leaders, we have people who should actually be thinking above their own greed and personal aggrandizement over the country, doing it for the country, I think we are in serious trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we have to have a development before we got developed country because if we can have all of the aid, all of the donation, all of the good thing coming to Labrador, if our minds are not developed to get it done, we will not get that as a country because the
Mm-hmm.
forms okay, that a human being have to be there to manage the form. The unique project will come that a human being have to be there as Liberian to manage those very things. So back to the capital building issues. Over the past period of time, we had a lot of argument about this whole capital building issue, and I just sit by and think that Liberia sometimes will not make progress because those that folks that have discussed Liberia as pretending to be patriot, pretending to be the Liberian that really want to bring the necessary change in Liberia. If you pretend to be a Liberian, you will look at your building because sometimes it just reflects my mind. Because when I saw that building burning, it reflected my mind back on the war during the war. Though
Mm-hmm.
during the war, all of the civil conflict we actually experienced in our country, that building was not touched. That major building over there was not touched. And we have people that were very intoxicated in the minds. They were not even to themselves. They were fighting war, killing one another for some reason. They thought they could have done, but those buildings were not touched. So when I see people doing that, I didn't want to, think that they are more of being wicked when those who even fought the war that took gun. Because here's the thing: if you had a place where you should be discussing national issue where our country should make forward. Then for your own political, and I mean, like we're giving these analysis, we're not implying that because this matter is in court, but we're just discussing how people should actually be thinking and behaving as human beings, right? Like to say, we don't have to be lawyer before we discuss on, logics that comes to human behavior. Because if one is not behaving in the right manner, then there's something happening in our nation. For me, I've always said and say we need to have rehabilitation, not just carrying people to a various homes or various facility, but we need to rehabilitate the man through various educational platforms to educate our young folks, because this generation of ours is done. We are done. So to get the kind of a result, everyone wants justice. So I gave the process change. I know there was I think there were new indictment as well by the government indicting those folks, against those folks that have been allegedly, we can say allegedly, accused of those various crimes, and those indictment, we're definitely going to try. To my understanding, because when an indictment is put, when a new indictment is put forward, then you have to be rearrested. But to my understanding, there was some bomb again to have secured the indictment to not be rearrested and go to jail. So the case is going to trial. Like I listened to you to say August, the case will be going to trial. Now, the case will be going to trial, and there will be a lot of noise in the market. Obviously, people want to have point. Political opponents want to have point. But what I want to tell Iberian is, let's give the process change.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let's give the process change. And this process, the individuals that were involved, they will be brought to justice, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about the issue about the gravity or
the crime, yeah.
Crime, and you talk about why it should be second degree felony. I think I listened to one lawyer saying, in his mad talks, because they got various acts that actually is attached to a first degree felony, because something that is it, because they talk about attempt to commit murder and regular endangering others' life. Those are crimes. He listed various crimes that are on second degree felony. So I don't think it was on the merit or on the basis of maybe indicting them further or giving a lesser year in prison. But I think it's on the basis of those various crimes that are listed on a first, second degree felony. I think that education was provided because somebody asked similar question on one of these platforms. So I think we can get the process change. No matter what you do, like I've always said, even you bring injured, bring his car to come and judge the case. Political pundits will always say what they want to say. Yeah. But I think we've been seeing the process. The process is going on. Everybody want to see their side. Some people say political, some people say it's which one. I mean, we've been hearing all these things from the time I brought every phone there. So I think the government should not be distracted. The very evident, and we're always hoping. I've always said the evidence should be. People are just like putting these issues in rush, because don't forget to know now, the government in their wisdom, or the government lawyer in his wisdom, because I listened to him last night and said he normally don't like to appear. The Solicitor General normally like to appear on media. But instead, people are seeing this as the usual conversation. The reason you don't like to appear, because people feel in their mind that the evidence that was provided, that's all. But instead, they have bundle of evidence at the appropriate time. Don't forget to do that. Evidence can be provided until the final verdict is done. So government will continue providing evidence until this case is done. So do not sit and say, okay, that on the voice recording or social media post you want to come and though is evidence as well, you can't disprove the fact, because there are landmark cases that when you make reference to that the Supreme Court have judged on, or you talk about audio, you talk about voice recording, people have been indicted, people have been guilty of those various things. So there's no argument about what a voice recording is, not audio stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of things around the case people need to give the process change, and keep moving as a country so we can get justice. Because like bro don't deserve what is going on. We're already fighting to
Yeah.
bring, donate, people to develop the country than other people for their own motive. They want to disgrace it. But I think it's a good thing that we're discussing it tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm happy it's going to court. The court proceeding is going to be starting next month, and let's see what happens. Right in our country, a new precedent will be set. Whether B man can go to jail or B man can go to jail, well, we'll see what happens. So moving on to our president, knew that people would say arrest. This is not in the arrest agenda, so I don't know why we're doing the reburial or something. But anyways, immediate release, right? Says on Saturday, June 5th, President Joseph Yuma Boaga Sr. will host a national healing, reconciliation, and unity program at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo Town, Liberia. The event honors victims of Liberia's civil wars, the Ebola epidemic, and the COVID-19 pandemic, and follows the recent reburial of former presidents William R. Tarbell Jr. and Samuel K. Doe Sr., led by Dr. Jaso Mali Jala. The program aims to provide a space for national reflections, healing, and renewed commitment to peace. Keynote speaker Dr. Antoine Ruteyisa of Rwanda will speak on unity and reconciliation. The event will include government officials, diplomats, faith and traditional leaders, young and women groups, civil societies, and public, all invited participants under the theme "Heal Our Past, Build Our Tomorrow Together." Guys, this is where we are with this. The next, well, everybody been suggesting that the president do last to have this big program for the victims, and this has been done at the ministerial complex. How would I expect it like to really like a site like we were all talking about like a memorial site, or you think this would be done then the memorial site be constructed? Like what is going on here? Because this is just a program, like kind of like
All right. This is just on a public and national um acceptance,
mhm.
national acknowledgement of our past, and collectively mobilize as we see a future void of individual that are still frustrated and sad, and people that have not gotten closure to some of the act of atrocities that are perpetrated against their loved ones, relatives, parents, and just fellow citizens. So that trauma still exists, and having this sort of program that opens a national dialogue that touches every town, village, and hamlet across the country, that effort of national solidarity and national reconciliation and healing
Right.
would then or reverberate in a country. Because one thing for just couple of family like we saw, family mourning or reburying their loved ones. But this one, are you talking about all those
The
that
entire
were
country.
impacted? Right. So this is a national one now, right? Even though, like the former president and the two former presidents, we saw their proceedings happening and all of that stuff. But this is not saying, you know what, we need to do it for the unknowns, people that might not be as popular as the former head of states,
Right.
but those people too has to be recognized. So now the president is saying we need to do a national healing, reconciliation, acknowledgement, and all of that stuff. So this is absolutely good. This is, after this, trust me, there will be change of mentality, change of attitude, change of approach going to happen in the country. I'm telling you, this is absolutely good. This is something that we've been talking about long time. We've been talking about this long time, because and we said this actually when we were talking about the war crime code and how important it was, right? Doing the campaigning processes and all of that stuff. This was something that we're talking about. You cannot
the president said during the campaign that we have to unite this nation. We have to, this nation has to heal.
Exactly.
Do you think this is what he was talking about, or he was talking about the individual, party uniting, or he was talking about something like this from what he's doing right now? I was just thinking about that today,
Well, this is exactly why the president was talking about, and I think people are now coming to recognize now that the president, when I'm missing his words, he definitely meant what he was saying on this campaign trail, that this is what he was going to do, and we're starting to see these things, right? We're starting to see a robust approach to holding people accountable, people engaging financial and public funds sabotage and all that stuff. We're seeing that happening, while at the same time simultaneously we're seeing a robust approach to national healing and national reconciliation going on at the same time. So this is a president who told you that he was going to do these things, and he's doing it. So this is promise made and promise kept. That's what we are saying. And definitely gonna help Liberia heal. Finally, some people are just sitting there and say, okay. And once the conversation, once people are blessed to have this kind of conversation, having to have this kind of national prayer service and all that stuff, that's gonna bring a total closure to some people. And I just hope it brings a total closure to every soul that is still suffering.
Absolutely.
From what some of their parents and relatives and siblings and loved ones had to endure during our brutal civil crisis.
This girl got you messed up with their brutal.
Well, brutal. I mean, at least I did not say Brutus. She said Brutus.
They're brutal. I'm gonna be brutal. But anyways, thank you, Jarrell. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, President
The whole
Boaga.
country this time, the whole country, everybody, even including Ebola people and people that died for COVID-19.
Yeah,
which is important too. At least it wasn't war, but it was a lot of lives lost in Liberia, in the country. So
exactly. President Boaga is a man of wisdom. Our men from the other side always get angry with these things, because if one had an opportunity and misuse the opportunity, somebody comes and put that opportunity in use. I think if you don't have certain petty jealousy, or you don't have that usual behavior of wanting to be heard all of the time, you want to embrace it as long it is in line, in conformity with what we've been fighting for. Because here's the thing: Liberia will never make progress if you do not get out of your shell to want to believe that it should only be you before you celebrate it. Because if we want for the country to make progress, whether opposition or imposition, we have to look at things from a very holistic standpoint.
Right.
And I want to appreciate the president For nobody saying President Baga is perfect. There are shortfalls along the way.
Yeah.
But I think in my mind, most of the things that he doing it reflect the sincerity and honesty he brings to leadership. Now, Liberian presidency, it comes to a lot. But to see an old man in the age moving forward by taking some of these steps, I know it tells that he meant well for that country. I pray that the devil of wickedness should not come around him, because when the devil of wickedness circle around you, you got no way to come up. And I mean, there is one thing we all been yearning for, and we always want to say, if even it can be annual, but I think that a time that the government should have these kind of initiative to actually to bring people together to have national reconciliation. Now, I got an argument. I heard an argument somewhere, and I want to say this because we have our audience, other people have their audience. Now, that does not in any way neglect the fact that there will be no war crime code, because there are some weak arguments out there having national healing and bringing people together to actually have forgiveness. That doesn't mean that people will not account for what they did.
Yeah,
If you read the TRC report, it talk about these kind of things. It talk about bringing people under the palaver. Those are recommendations they made. Bringing people under the palaver to have saying the truth and doing some business. And there are most of the things that has not happened in we coming to the work and establishment of the court issue. So when we see the president taking these kind of initiative, I think it's a very commendable thing. And every Liberian that right man, we appreciate it, right? Because you know what it does is it brings family from both sides. I have certain malice of thinking that this person is my enemy because this happened during my father regime. And you saw in our witness, all of our witness, the president of Mami Doe and other folks for the Doe family.
Yeah.
Recent. I mean, that was yesterday.
Yesterday.
That, that speaks a lot to national unification, national healing, national reconciliation. But you know what? At the end of the day, we always pray that God give the president more strength and power to do most of the things. Like I said, let me progress with these things. In Liberia, it is always unique that we usually do these things, not maybe one or two times. Because you know what? It is obvious that if any had the opportunity to be part of yesterday's program, for me, sorry, I will not be part of that program. So when you keep doing it, it keep decreasing the malice, it keep decreasing the angles of those. Like when I saw the issue about even the Ebola and the coronavirus issue, I was like, wow, that's very thing. It did not only center around war, because there are people who are traumatized. I know a lot of folks, friends, they lost all of their families, during Ebola and stuff.
Yeah.
So they all are part of that process. I think it's a very good thing. Let's celebrate. I'm talking to Liberia. If you had a chance to be there, you have to be there. Watch the program and get the message, because that program will be about getting the right message about reconciliations and business thing. Because you talk about the team and honor, I think it's a very unique thing.
So what do you make of the fact that their keynote speaker is coming from one of the brutal civil war country, Rwanda, and today that country is thriving. They're doing fine. They're moving forward. They did better than us. They held the people who did all the gruesome thing in our country accountable. Sad that we haven't. But
exactly. And the coming of that guest speaker from Rwanda, it will get a lot of education, because I think he got to bring a lot to Liberia in terms of how they made progress and what are some of the strategies they put in place to get Rwanda to where they are today, sending Rwanda. And I mean, obviously, we're going to get a lot of education. And while it was a very smart move for the government to have gotten somebody from there, because like you talk about the experience that they have and where are they today, nobody can erase the fact that inland, like I talk about development from the mines to infrastructure and everything, Rwanda guys, they are there. There are certain percentage that everyone can be boast of. So getting somebody from there to come and talk to us, Liberians, speak to our minds, I think it's a very good thing. We want to thank the government for doing that.
Well, I know what the president is doing is a good thing. I mean, like you said, every well-meaning Liberian would know that it's a good thing. But do you think this politics is gonna like hinder this process for other people to come around? Because we need this to be like a holistic effort for everybody, not just certain group of people. But like you said, some people sit on platforms that act like they care for Liberia, but seeing things that they're happening where we all supposed to put the politics aside. They're looking at it as, okay, so since I didn't do it, this is hindering my 2029. You know, they're thinking about election in this time. What we all supposed to come together. What they're supposed to mean a lot for all of us healing, nation healing. Even if the nation is not healed, you can come there, God forbid, 2029 said. And it's still the same way. What better is it for you? But they're not thinking that way, and they support. You can say whatever you want to say about them, but they have power and control over a lot of people. You understand what I'm saying? And whatever thing they put out there, sadly, these people go by it. These people, some of them, not all of them. Like my brother Wilson, yeah, he knows better. Wilson in those days, they exercise, right? But there are some people that really think because those people are pushing politics, they really think this is a bad thing. So this is where I come from. Sorry, you think this is gonna be like good, or we should just, since the majority embrace it, it'll be okay?
Well, I mean, like you said, it has to be inclusive, and I think I don't want to preempt. I don't know what's the protocol are, but I think the government of Liberia will be reaching various stakeholders to be part of that process. And if you deem it necessary as a Liberian patriot, knowing that Liberia were at the stage or at a certain point in time that people got hurt, people died from families, and you serve that country, you've been part of the national conversation. I mean, you got certain level of impact on that country. You have to attend that program. I think it should be more holistic. Everyone should be invited, not on the basis of your attachment, maybe politically, religiously, or socially, but you should be invited because you are a Liberian, because it is for all Liberian, right? Now, the thing you talk about, the political issue is when Patrick Lumumba talk about our politics having some level of hygiene, it should have some level of hygiene. That reflects, or that should reflect each and every one mind on national growth. And I seen politics just maybe, I mean, it should be me. When it is not me, or I'm not in setting power, I mean, my country should not make progress. But normally in Africa, most of our politics do not have hygiene, and all the petty jealousies, let me say in their funny manner, for the better choice of the world, all the petty jealousies, you see people bring argument, counter argument against the kind of a process. So, I mean, like I said, it will not only be this government. If we can have, like I think one of the brothers suggested, that was Mr. Tule. He said, if we can have a National Memorial Day, that name change from Decoration Day to National Memorial Day, I think it's Sunday they will get a memorial site where people can go all of the time on that one day, and it will be very unique for people to have, reflect, and people should always together think about the loved ones and other business and government having a particular program on that day. I think that was a very unique suggestion. So if the government can think about that in our light, I think it will not only be this government doing it, but always any government, whether any president coming, they will have to do that particular program, because
if it's set as a holiday, that has to be every year. So it would be president and future president business now. It's not going to be this,
exactly.
Yeah. So I hope he would think that think that direction. And then again, like I was asking to Ray,
Hmm.
building a memorial site for not just having a service, but building a site that here when they're having those things, they go to the site and to pay their respect, liveries and stuff like that, instead of just having it at the ministerial complex. And what about next year? What about the year before that? I mean, after that, and the year after that? We should be able to have a site, like a memorial site, that we, remembering our loved ones or falling or whatever, like, from the war, Ebola. You have the Ebola session, you have the COVID session, and you have the war that you get
Ex-
going, and something everybody that's I think that would be more
Exactly.
unique. It will be kind of like a good form, and that site can be like somebody suggested, the Bali Island,
Hmm.
right? To
Yeah.
have that as a memorial site, to make it like a tourist place. Like you come
Yes.
in. This is what his name, something that I'm bringing. Saying he didn't show up, so I will talk about it. We'll talk about it today. So you'll come in, and then you go in there, like in Rwanda. Sandy's not on here. He will tell you. You go through there, you'll see what happened, because we have to know our history. We have to know all those things that happened, those things
Exactly.
that were done, all the evil things that were done, showing that then at the end, when you're coming out, way to peace, and what to do next time to not have these happen again. That kind of side, I think is gonna be more something for the country to look forward to every year. People go there, and then tourists come in that place and go there and see what happened in Liberia, and how Liberia handled it after the war, after the aftermath, and healing process and all of that.
And those kind of sites that can help in the process to reform the minds,
Yeah.
because there are more people have the kind of backward way of thinking. So when they had the opportunity to visit these sites, they have more, forgiveness. They have more, God bring more healing to their heart to forgive, to actually think forward, to not be thinking back. But I mean, it's a good thing. Like I agree with you that we need to have a site, not to be having it maybe at the ministerial, but send it is the first of it comes
You
when
choose the Bali Island site.
yeah, it could be the
Say
Bali
we
Island.
say we
Yeah,
never had an island. We can use that site
it
to
could be
to,
that.
to,
Yeah,
to have that and make it really beautiful. To
yeah,
and something, I think that would be a good site for it. Um, yeah, we should. I pray the president think about that. I don't know if they're
yeah.
gonna think about that Bali Island, but we should have a site that we
Exactly.
that
I agree
something.
with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, and not just something. So, moving on. What Falcon calling work it's doing a lot of stuff, but he getting a lot of something. But today is a invitation. Let me read it. I took the shortest something to read today. President Joseph Newman Barger has been officially invited to a high-level summit in Washington, D.C. from July 9 to 11, hosted by the U.S. President Donald J. Trump. He has won five. He is one of five African leaders selected to attend, along with the president of Senegal, Gabon, Mauritania, and Guinea-Bissau. What happened to Ghana? The summit, organized by the U.S. State Department, will focus on holding stronger ties through economic cooperation and regional security. Key topics will include trade, critical minerals, of course. Minerals gotta be a part of this. Something critical,
Exactly.
critical minerals, and ways to address security challenges across Africa. This event is seen as a major diplomatic move and an opportunity to strengthen U.S. and Africa relation. So I don't know. I'm not too excited about it. I don't know because it's Donald Trump or whatever. But you tell me, what do you? I mean, what do you think about this invitation? I mean, some
Yeah.
people are excited. Some people are. I don't know.
You know, I don't know. I'm not too excited as well because you know what? I don't think this should be a news for the first in the first place. I think President Trump is a very strategic person, a business person, a business politician who go for what he think you can give him and what he can give you back. And diplomacy is because you look at the relationship between Liberia and that of the United States, there's a lot been happening. Liberia been giving, the US been giving. So if you see out of how many countries in Africa, 50 something country, the president chose five head of states from those various countries to come. I think there's a lot of conversation, but what I think the president, what would make me, it's a good thing to get a leader going for these kind of a meeting. But what would be more excited to me is what we get from it, right? Because here's the thing, Amy, you now erase the fact that we've been having leaders going to various summit. You know, maybe now very strategic as compared to this, because it is very strategic. You can't erase the fact. It is very strategic. Having only 5 countries is very strategic. And I think a border, like you were reading, a border around security, economic growth, what you talk about mineral, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And looking at the region, and somebody saying, but while Liberia was and blah 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 because corruption taking place, the president of FAI, no. Some of you not reeling. The Liberia is a non-permanent, has a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Councils and the Security Councils. And don't forget, Liberia play major part when it comes to discussing, making decisions on the seat. You know what I mean? So if one way want to argue that because corruption, and those are the weak arguments we don't want to get in. But don't forget to know what I want for our president to do. Maybe somebody listening. Our president should be blown because we're talking about Mr. Trump. That is one of the president of the United States that has been very consecutive. A consecutive man who is, let's say, radical and critical.
This man is not conservative.
And imposing caution. Man who is very blunt. And, we're seeing certain thing. If you go to such a meeting,
don't be scared.
You want to be, you don't want to be the usual diplomat. That man is unconventional. So be bold, be open.
So what do you want? What do you want our president to say when he says something? He said, "Dada, I did not work you."
No, you can disagree silently now. What are you doing now? You can tell the message, I did not work your message, but I didn't bring from my warehouse.
He said, "Dada."
You see Ramaphosa, so I think our president, eventually I was like, wait. I didn't remember my warehouse. I man, so y'all can argue with me. So you can't argue with Chong get hit point. So here's the thing. I think it'll be a good thing for our country because I know there'll be some, because even for Liberia to speak on behalf of America, that's an interest for America. Even for Liberia to say, oh, we back you because of various things that are going behind you and Israel. We I mean, that's an interesting diplomacy. Just making some commitment to another foreign nation or another country. That's an interest that America wants from you. But who knows what will be the detail of the conversation? We're just preempting. We're just saying our own. What I want our president to do is to be bold to the plan. Because looking at Liberia, we have gone to that country for 8. If we have to put something for the US to get something to get development, let's put something to get it. Because the issue about donation and aid, it has, in another sense, that not help us. I must stand to be correct. I stand to be correct. I might be wrong, but in my view, it does not help us with any sustainable development that we can actually point out. And draining from the 2000 range to come down. So if you go into the kind of area, because you talk about mineral, that you are stressing the issue about mineral, right? It doesn't put us in something back.
Yeah.
So when you have to get something,
they had to include that in there.
That raw man say it must be strong. When you coming by, you must come tech. So when you getting something, it should not be, because it's a win-win situation. Any kind of a discussion is a win-win situation. So when you're going for the win, it should be a win where it will reflect on the life of the people. Because I listened to callers today, because we always have the opportunity to listen to somebody's platform. We listen to conversation, and the people are very excited. And the people, like they said, former presidents has been going there. They have not been seeing any fruitful result. And they're praying that when the president go, that he be straight with the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good thing in diplomacy. You always want to see your president, especially the White House is where everybody want to go and discuss their interests. So we pray that when the president goes there, our interests of concerns that he will scratch, the U.S. see more reason, tangibly, reasonably, and timely to actually go by home to do some of the necessary thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was saying that maybe I'm wrong about this, right? But I've been so, like zoomed out since the Donald Trump presidency and his deportation, mass deportation, something. I have just been zoomed out. Like I don't know much that's going on in the U.S. anymore. I just wanted 4 years to be over with, right? But so yeah, I'm ready for it to be over with, even though it's taking a little time. But so when this came up today, I said, well, what's the big deal? We have president have been going to these summits before,
Yeah.
I'm like every other Liberian who kind of, a little skeptical, like, okay, what's the big deal with this? Why is everyone making it such a big deal? But like you said, the president needs to be forceful. He needs to be, you know what he's going there for, and he needs to, don't let Donald Trump scare you. You older than Donald Trump. Call us. We here. We're back. When he try in our warehouse. Just
I continue on. You want to go sit down there and can talk about when La Bro phone and Barago La Bro went. No. I mean, I want to hear that kind of story. Go to
Donald
the
Trump don't
point.
even know what's going on with that. Donald Trump don't know that history. He didn't know nothing about it, because if he did, he'll not be putting on travel ban and stuff. But anyway, yeah. So he
Yeah.
needs to be forceful. He needs to don't. I mean, I hope those 5 leaders will not be moved either. They'll not let African nations. I hope they are kind of a little bit of what Ibrahim Traore is doing. That got them. I hope it gives them a little bit of backbone, right?
Yeah.
To be able to stand and handle their own and not just be pushed around all the time, right? So
Exactly.
that's what I think. But like I said, GMB just blow the whistle will be there. So I didn't read near DC that they're not far. Maybe people gotta get in plane and beat up. They're right near DC there. They're not far from there. Just call. We'll be there. Don't let Donald
Yeah.
Trump to bully you. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know if you have anything to say to this, but anything else, but
Yeah. I mean, I think it's always a good thing to get a president on these kind of a trip. But like you said, we have always had in history, we have had president going to these kind of a conference. Those that is more strategic because when you look at
mhm,
it, it, it it's restricted to few countries and talk about minerals and strengthening some security issues. I think it's more because when you look at the region in Africa, it's fragile. It's fragile. Looking at
mhm.
Liberia there, I mean, we got a lot of vulnerable borders, a lot of era over there.
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll
like
talk about security. They talk about
the that yeah, that is threatening all the you got terrorist conversation all around the place in Africa.
mhm.
So I think the president can pull for most of everything, and I'm hopeful that a node will not be prepared. I don't want to be sounding to sedition, and a node will not be
Oh
prepared. A node
no!
that are
If
being
you need
given
a
to.
note, let him take a note. I mean,
I
what's wrong
mean,
with that?
the note should be more. The note should be more comprehensive. The note should be more, on the point that me and you talking about here now. It should not be the, note that are given to our Brabi before and the former
From
president.
from the
So
from the
it,
from the
it must be more.
history to now, Trump should be there.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
must be more enlightening. It must be straight to the point. It might
Trump
be
should have
something
people
that
that already enlighten him about Liberian history
exactly they got no before they
you
go, they
should.
gotta get some tete-a-tete conversation and probably
That's
going on.
that's
But I
what
think
that's what it was selected. I think that's
yeah,
it.
I think it's a good thing for our country, and we hope that we get the better result that we actually expect from the economic conversation. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, we are.
And
Yeah.
I just want to do the impasse and like you guys were talking about the issue about. I know you guys already passed. I just want to say it before we get to the line of maybe to the other aspect of the show.
Mm.
You guys were talking about the Ministry of Labor, and I read that
The
news.
job, yeah.
Yeah, that information. I think it's a good thing for our country, but the issue about because I have seen government from Arlington, from President Ellington, former President Ellington, up to this time. We have seen most of the project, right?
Mhm.
Like something I just say something on the basis of mere political frame, because you can bear with me. There are projects in that country that has been going. I know it's a temporary project, but I want for us to get more. My brother and French did you? Yeah, where's in VCR, man? I know there has been more project where to sustain young people, maybe when they die in school. You talk about the waste project, you talk about other projects that
Mm.
maybe the MCC and other institutions has been having, but sustainability has been one thing. Now you will see this project going on right now to employ young people. But next year, maybe we'll come on this platform again and you ask the question, well, where's the other projects that they used to have when students were not in school? So,
That's
so
what I said.
sustainability has been one thing. People just do it. Maybe they want to. I agree with you. Somebody can just want to do it because they want to cover a certain news, or they want to show that they're actually working in the interest of the Liberian people, right? There's a lot of things we can do in our country. Liberian man, common Liberian man, know how to get certified. If the MCC or the government can see it necessary, because you feel like, bro, the reason you see young people cause laws every day, politics, is because
Yeah,
there are
that's busy.
percentage, there are percentage that are sure that more people are not working. They have nothing doing. So when you got a student who go to school from Monday to Friday, and Saturday and Sunday he doing some kind of government initiated job to get 500 or 1,000, you think that man will not focus on that 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 hustle for Sunday and Saturday to sustain himself from Monday to Friday? He will not even get time for politics because government have provided certain area to actually get him temporary employed for him to be sustained in a week. He will not get time to go discuss politics. Like when government is busy with their business or what they think, you don't even care about politics around it. But it is what it is. We always pray that the government actually and try to always like I can always listen to the big brother Dwalu talking about private sector. We actually invest because when you look at government,
Mm.
obviously government will not employ everyone. Look at the
Yeah.
large of the size of a budget. You look at various entity, though more going expenditure, by the end of the day, government will not give everyone the
You can't
necessary
afford.
employment. Yeah, I mean, so we have to get the private sector booming too, so government can look at that side to see how people can be employed. Yeah.
Absolutely. But the private sector, sometimes some people in Liberia always think about the big companies and the mental you and all of that. But do you know that ordinary Liberians here too can also be employers? Like my brother Cindy has my friend and brother, let me do Wilson stuff. Wilson's our person can say my friend and brother. So my
Yeah.
friend and brother Cindy has a farm in Grangy there, right?
Yeah.
And he got what 5 or 10% employed, and he's willing to do more. So if the government, like the agriculture sector, like they're talking about giving the loans and stuff out and stuff, if Cindy can get a loan to extend his farm,
Mm-hmm.
there's more people that he hiring. So to, get away from the farm. What about other people that come and want to do, like, have other businesses open in their counties,
Yeah.
right? But security,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is a concern too.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
you have other people that had went there and did it, and things did not work out the way they planned it. So the environment, making the environment safe for business people, it doesn't have to be big companies and stuff. Liberians themselves can have some employer. I mean, they can be employers too. They can. You got people that put together, join, and go and start a company, and go and start a business over there. The environment has to be safe and secure for those people, because nobody want to go there and lose money and go
Exactly.
some foolish person go and damage. So those are some of the things that the government need to look into too.
Sure. Sure. I agree with you. I agree with you. Conducive environment is always something that every Liberian, and maybe even foreign national would like to have to be in to do business, because obviously everyone will agree that if, like, you scratch the issue about security, if you don't have secure area, you will not want to
Right.
carry on investment there, because we're talking about money here now. Yeah, so I mean, that's another point too. I think the government can look out for those that are wanting to come and invest.
Yeah, and make those registration thing easier, and not
Yeah.
like like something that a former government got sanction for, when business people going. Imagine I get like $500,000 and I want to go start something, and to register my business, you want me to give you 20,000, and then when I go on the other side to get a paper, they want me to get it 10,000. It After clearing all the tables, how much do I have left? I have to think about electricity. I have to think about all of these things. Internet and all of those things. It's not regular and stable in the country yet. So you have to pay for all this. So after doing all that, that's why I always frustrate people, and they come back and don't want to go back. So those are some of the things that the government needs to be looking at, and also take care of, and not always looking at these big companies. Yeah, big companies are good, but yeah, us Liberians, there are a lot of people here that want to do those things. Counties, low counties, cities. Who knows? I might go to Marsha and go start something there, and hire all the
Exactly.
they hire all the territory over there. You never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to make it a safe and something for us to do that.
Sure. Sure.
This job, just we all, it can be a hands on deck
Yeah.
thing
We.
if the country is safe and security wise, because that during the campaign, that was my big thing, right?
Yeah.
Security. We can have, people can be suffering, people can be trying to get up with what the country is looking at, but if the country is safe, that people can get up, I can go set my roasted meat on the road and get up and come in home, and nobody hijacking me, or nobody stabbing me, that is a good thing.
Exactly.
People can always thrive from that. People can always get up from that. Security is very important.
Sure. Sure. You're right, because collectively, if we have to do it collectively, we have to take all these things into consideration. And there are certain entities in Liberia sometimes we forget about, And I think government sometimes don't give more attention to the company. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
Never play.
institution entity. I mean, in Liberia, because I don't know, for some reason why underfunded, or why they are not supported at a certain level. You talk about the National Insurance Incorporation, right? That is NACO. And when you look at NACO, the function of NACO, I just want to do the impact. I know it's not part of our discussion. When you look at the function of NACO, it is to ensure that every government vehicle, being insured. Basically, they were established for that reason, right? To make sure to enforce the law against every government vehicle being insured with them. Because there are a lot of times, because when I read a communication from NACO,
Mm-hmm.
it said, I know that this gun regime, right? I know that the government of Liberia was losing $5 million for insurance, reinsurance. That is most of these government cars, government properties are not insured. So, and they are risks. And when they got into the problem, the government will have to pay a certain amount of money because they're not insured. And I sat down and think, I said, but they have the law. And we always talk about policies and lawyer that they should implement. Law should not be negotiable. If you had a law that said NACO should enforce the issue about government vehicle being insured forcibly, and the law is not being implemented, and you want to negotiate with entity, with ministry and various in the government area to ensure, then I thought to question why you're existing as an institution, because you there to enforce a particular law or policy. You're not enforcing it, but you want to be leaner. But again, that's the Liberia we have. What we want to say to the government of Liberia, because all these things are wasteful spending. You can't be talking about having the government and making progress in certain sector, looking at spending from all angles. Then they kind of a huge amount of money going. Now I listened to the I think the communication director some part of week before last telling us that they have had reduction in reinsurance paying. That is government, obviously government vehicles and government areas sometimes get out fire, sometimes they hit the guy involving accident that they are not right. So the insurance when the guy in problem, NACO has to pay, because if you are paying to NACO, because NACO was basically funded to just take out government property, right? If you're not paying that money to NACO for NACO to able to be paid when your car involved into the accident, then NACO have to take that initiative forcibly, because that is the establishment of NACO. So when I listened to the communication that I didn't have the opportunity to call or to asking some of the questions, I said, then what the policies of you being, having that power or that authority to enforce a particular law, then you are in negotiating? Because how are you talking about it? When the general asking, why is it you got not enforcing the law, and you say you in communication with various ministry, you're coming or a memorandum of understanding? Then you say government is the whole bureaucracies. You have to walk around things to get things done. We know sometimes you don't want to be harsh in doing things, but if the law is there and the policy is there, I think in my mind it should not be compromised, because at the end of the day, it falls behind the same government.
Yeah.
It falls behind the same government. So there are people in government. Sometimes it shock you to know that people will just come and pass. Sometimes police don't even care when you have I don't know what's the place they're using currently, because back then when
you can do anything.
when you have they don't even check your car. They say, "Oh, that government car, they just pass." But they always want to search or make sure about common people being insured, registered the proper way. So if you as the government official cannot be example of a particular law, what makes up the ordinary Liberian? So for government to be more proactive, I think the people themselves need to respect those various laws. But it is by law that you need to have
The
insurance.
people follow their leaders. Yeah.
Yes, I mean it is by law you need to have insurance on your car. But when you're a government official, you're passing with one car all around the place, no insurance. It's just going to corporate or somebody that don't even got good lesson place. They walk around with one lesson place that is in violation of the traffic law. They walk around, they put it on any type of car. So some of these things we have to, always come out sometimes to say some of these things, because you always be strangulating government to be giving a lot of money out there that doesn't make sense. That money should be going to the health, the healthcare center. That money should be going to the education, to get government more proactive in the various areas. So I just thought to share that. I mean, I think government need to look at these things and be more forceful about some of these law. Don't be negotiable about certain policy. It's a law.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the numbers are on the screen. The numbers is on the screen. If you want to call in and give your point on this discussion about the invitation, the what is it? Memorial for all all of the war victims,
The number is not
Ebola,
there.
and
You did not pin the number.
it's down there. Going down, let me see. Let me see. It should be down
Oh,
there
okay. I thought you just pinned it. Okay, okay. You did not.
right
Is that?
now. Yeah. So you can call and give us your point on those discussion. And yeah, so we but there's something here that I wanted to share today, but I don't know if I should. It's something that have to do with Milton Bly and Jefferson Kochi. Since we're waiting for a call, maybe I should share it. Nothing important though, but it's just he's going at Jefferson Kochi and stuff. It said former rebel day. I'm not gonna put that former rebel day. I'll just Joshua Milton Blake, commonly known as, I'm not gonna say that, has made an explosive allegation against former Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Kochi, accusing him of having access to drug money. Blake also referred to the former ruling Coalition for Democratic Change (CDC) as a spell political party. What does that mean? Rachel? Implying that its influences is more manipulative than political. Okay, I know where that comes from there. In a bold statement, Blaze claimed if Jackie leaves politics, he will go broke like Akara's great. The Akara's great, yeah, that's today. He will go broke, except for Koji, who has drug money. He's maintained these comments can remain increasing tension and in into the criticism and within Liberia political circle, particularly surrounding the CDC and its permanent figures. So Jefferson Koshi always taking the mic or go on Facebook and writing, you know, nonsense about everybody all the time, right? So somebody had come and accusing about, you know, I was a drug dealer, because if you having drug money, you selling it, right? So you're a drug dealer. So that's what he's calling. He's calling someone is calling him out, calling him a drug dealer. So I wait to hear him respond on it, but yeah, with the whole you get into, I think this is from what him and you get had over the weekend from Grangy there. So I'm not saying, but these allegations against Jefferson Kochi is a little, heavy. What do you think?
Well, those are the trend. Sometimes people choose to discuss. Maybe they got a disagreement. Somebody just choose something at you there. But like you said, coach you to being she has a lose with her talking
Yeah.
or threatening the state and all this thing. But I don't think that justify anybody to carry on such behavior, because for me, I've not always encouraged toxic conversation, because at the end of the day, it never help our conversation. I think it's always you need people be more safe also with somebody changes and
But
give you
sorry, you heard it saying I can just say facts comes true joke, right? Some of these things, do you think they need to be looked at? Because
well
somebody might know it and they're not saying anything, but it'll come on when they get upset with the person. And
then you
Jefferson
want to
Koji is not just any ordinary person. We know how many young people like he always has around him, and he's something. So, I mean, I'm not saying what Milton Blahey is saying is true, but sometimes some of these allegations worth looking into, don't you think?
so you want to look at the circumstances attached to somebody's statement made, and you all want to study people from uh the most psychologist standpoint, wherein when people are emotional, when people are attached with being aggressive, in expressing themselves, to say
Mm.
something that doesn't really make sense, that never exists, but because they want to have a point, right? And I don't want to believe that Koji. You might say all of the thing about Koji being part of toxic politics and wanting to show off that militancy should always exist in that aggressive move. And he moves, you disagree with him, but I don't want to hold on to that belief until proven beyond reasonable doubt that he has an attachment with
I
George.
mean, do we even know our so-called leaders anymore when there are people who have been accused in the house of being drug dealer before? Remember?
Yeah, I think
And
people.
yeah, like people who trying to they will not make the law strong, or they something because they themselves they are drug dealers, and then their colleagues try to climb down on them to retract. I don't know if somebody retract a statement that make him like it. I don't even know. Take it back. Take it back. Take what back? Even if he or she take it back, does that mean the facts disappear? Like, there's a reason why that person said something like that, right? If you're talking about a lawmaker accusing a lawmaker, we should be looking into things like that. And people who are supposed to be so-called leader or former leaders and stuff, we know what a drug issue is in our country now. So I don't think we should be. I'm not saying anybody should go grab Jefferson Koji and put him in jail because somebody make a Facebook post, you know. But you can also, keep an eye on the brother and try to look into things and see what is really going. Because, I mean, where
Yeah, I
the
agree with
fires
you.
are burning, smoke.
I would agree with you when the issue about somebody allegation got magnets, when you got foundation, when you got Mary, because you this is like bro talking about like bro is a in circuit of anybody just waking up and talk because they got certain disagreement on you. We
Yeah.
know the kind of like brother we have. Somebody wake up certain time they say AB Krumah arresting people, but then when they were there, AB and Fadiga arresting people, they say, but why the man can go beyond Joseph Bagason and the man selling jobs? No evidence. Somebody just, I mean, that's how people are in Liberia. They just wake up because are in certain disagreement with certain things that are going on. Let me just say so I can hard point on you. I'm not also implying maybe what they say is not true, right? But this is the Liberia for us. Even you, at certain level, you see certain thing on the platform, somebody come, but they say we know the pain now. One. Oh, she talking about Joseph Parker. They say we know she on payroll. She's sitting out in America. So that's the society. So when you know the society at a certain point and how people discuss issue, you don't just want to go for anything. And sometimes you don't even want to eventually somebody allegation. Somebody saying because I don't know if there is a scene Judge or evangelist, the message is evangelist, and some call evangelist. Yeah.
Evangelist.
So the man is an evangelist. Make a call and said, I don't need. So
People can repent though. People can change from his action, and over the years, I mean, I think he's been.
And you gotta agree to what he's saying.
Well, that's Jagger problem. Jagger, he has said he has a problem. So either one needs to really repent. But anyway, over the years, people talk, right? People say things from their mouth. Sorry. Your action is what sometimes people need to look at. Anybody can say anything, like you said, right? But you have to, like, let's say you somebody tell you say I love you, or you tell somebody say I love you. You just saying it, but what are the actions you showing that you really love that person, right? So those are the kind of thing he has been remorseful. Now, and I'm not saying that would diminish whatever he did, but
to that saying, but there's no action to prove that.
Yes, there has been. Why would I be saying that? I don't know that brother. I've never met him.
What is the action? Can you reference one?
Okay, so he has this what is it, a group something home looking like that he's rehabilitating, or he has some young people that he take there.
No, I mean I thought you talk about the allegation. Yeah, I know.
Oh no,
he had a rehabilitation center. Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Allegation. I'm talking about his.
He been doing good there in Mount Barkley. Yeah. When I was back home, I went there once.
Yeah,
we had a program. But then we set an organization they call Unite Liberia. We had a program that has to do with drugs abuse. That was a joint partner with Beira organization. We went there to do some donation. Yeah, they were part of one of the Beira institutions that we engaged to get back to Liberia through just abuse, giving them awareness, encouraging them, some of the business things that we have through and shelters that we had to share with them. He was doing very good, and he got a very big area there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got a very big area. Most of you guys, and sometimes that's why people are afraid when he speak. It comes at him weird. You know what I mean? People always feel somehow threatening about some of the things he say, because don't go there with him. He got a lot of these guys behind, and they don't go there when he speaks. They always back most of the thing what he say.
Yeah, and I have been watching him like
Yeah, yeah, he been
so
doing a great job.
he doing a great job, and he
Yeah,
has been one of the persons that really, advocating for the war and economics crime court. And he's like, oh, I want to go and pay for my crime. I look at it that, oh wow, yeah, although he did some horrible things, but I think he is remorseful. We can, for people, for family that he harmed, yeah, they will feel some type of way about him still. But I should have believed that some of them might forgive him. Vengeance is not ours; it is the Lord. To something we also we've done some things, right? We committed sins and stuff all over the place. How I mean, the Bible said that if you don't believe forgive your fellow man, how do you want God to forgive you? How the Heavenly Father, you have to learn how to forgive to be forgiven. So, as hard as it sounds, and I know sometimes we just say things and it's easy saying it, but I truly believe that he has repented. I should.
but you really think you got seen as compared to that man?
Huh?
You really think you got seen as compared to that
My
man?
brother ain't got no beasting or small sin.
She not
I
seeing.
all the cookie jar I've been putting my hand in, my cookie jar taking it. I don't know what I
Oh,
is
you
to
put a
say.
hand cooking jar. I made you on the platform. You put a hand cooking jar.
My
Don't
man, she's
get me
speaking
to
parable
indict
about.
myself.
The guy
I
speaking.
My mom sent me the cookie jar and I put my
Like
hand
I
give
in.
mean,
me 10. I'm a sister.
I,
I'm equal as
but
small.
I mean speaking parable about.
What kind of cookie jar? I mean, under the
Only
sink.
the material, the one they can put it in so hard, she needs to pour it in there, she take it. She go back
He
in.
won't get me to indict myself here, and I plead the fifth. I'm talking about cookie jar that my mom sent
Oh,
me.
you're talking
Sent
about
me.
you're talking about Blai, Joshua Blai.
Yeah, black
Yeah,
and yeah, that's still
Yeah,
record.
yeah. Let me get my own one sense on that topic.
yeah,
I know
you're gonna
I
get
can't late.
yourself one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just keep from work, so let me just I say let me just log in because they are a little less busy. But I mean, thank you, man. Thank you for holding the platform and yeah, thank you
and
so
everybody.
much. I always share, but today I was so busy, so I share the show today. I always share it, but I was busy today. But on our aspect of Nathan Bly, I know Joshua or Nathan, I think that's his name.
Milton.
Milton, okay, Milton Bly. Look, we all sins all the time, but I think, like Ami said, he remorseful. He always discourse about what he did. He was bold to the Liberian people, and he asked for apologies. Right? We all apologize when we do something wrong.
Mm.
And he came back, he said it. He said, what I did in the past, it was wrong. I'm advocating for the war and economic crime codes. So when I see people judging him, saying like they never commit, oh no, we all know he committed very heinous crimes in Liberia. And I can say this for a fact, right? Uh, war, if you're in a war, you don't know what you're doing because you're trying to defend yourself. Now, what made everybody will tell you war is not good. War is not good. But if somebody come to attack you, you defend yourself, and war start, the innocent people suffer. And end of the day, people will be like, oh, the other person fought war. The other person won the other one. The other half of the people that engineered the war in Liberia, majority of them very, very old. Some of them are already
Uh,
gone.
yeah.
So all we need to do, we all need peace. We all need for all to come together and do this work for the Liberian people and put the past behind us and think about the future. Because end of the day, we are Liberians. We all realize the 14-year civil war was wrong. It was bad. It came way back, and Butt naked is one of the one who champion who today. I can say what butt naked doing.
Call him
No
Joshua.
other.
I
Okay,
call
yeah.
him
I Maton Blahi, right? What all Maton Blahi doing? I mean, no other. I can put my head on top. I want to see the war law that doing it. He
Yeah.
fought the war, yes, but now he transforming people who fought the war. He transforming people who some of them don't have home to sleep to. They don't have no career. He giving them career. And you know, he get an orphanage home that
Mhm.
helping a lot of ex-combatants. So we can compare Yeke and I, man. Yeke is an empty John rolling down a cracky hill. Yeke that made noise. Yeke surviving noise. Yeke will come and say, "Oh, they want this, they want that." But what Yeke is doing to change it? How many bills he have passed? How many bills he have go and put together and say, "Let we put this, that let it work"? Nothing. How many librarians he teaching?
He hugging them in the street.
In that part, around hawking and making no crossing women all on social media, insulting everybody, lying on people without evidence. That all Yeke doing, about people up keep pressing Yeke. For me, I would say I wrong 100% for supporting Yeke even
I
coffee
want to
job.
get
Yeah,
come on, Claire. He got to start
yeah, I
over.
gotta swallow it, but no, but I mean, before when we were putting our ideas together to support Yeke. Behind the scene, a lot of people reach out and say if Yeke win, Yeke will call Joseph Baka. I swear to God, Harry. I may play with that president. And it's a hard government official right now. The president called me. The president said, "Well, suffer yourself, Yeke." He said, "You know what? We know some of us. We know come publicly and endorse Yeke because Yeke will cause the president here. I said a lie too. Yeke will cause the. I said a lie. We argue on it until today happening. And the president text me when Yeke started. I said, "My man, we wrong, yo. It will not happen again." So end of the day. Yeke wounded survive in chaos. You can't compare Yeke and Meton Blahi. Meton Blahi is doing extremely well. Meton Blahi is changing life,
He's
combating.
not even. I agree with you, Mom, right? And he's not even a representative. He's not a
He's not
statesman.
representing just a
He's doing
former
more
NGO who
with his
helping.
own resources
Yes,
for doing more than the so-called lawmaker.
lawmaker. What Yeke doing? Yeke
Yeah.
that go steal money, go Ghana. He go in Jordan, he tell like Brempo resource, then come the next day. He on plane, he calls man cost, he call park cost, he call ente cost, he calls uncle cost. All the costs now, we're gonna cost him, Yeke not cost it. Eh?
He's going to go.
All the causing Yeke now causing until so now say people as they say who that Yeke, nothing good the person can say that causing come and listen to me and me.
Uh-oh.
The brother
Mama,
then him on the ass.
somebody now called Mama. But I think you know what he was saying, right? He
A
said, I
simple
think the
mobile
show,
man.
yeah, the show film with Jeff freestyling now, right? So the thing about Yeke is that, you know, sometimes Yeke I say I blame Jovia and his people them, right? I swear to God, sorry. I really told Yeke because I did not watch the get to the 2023 election. That's when I started paying attention. I thought Yeke really wanted to do something. He knew what to do, but he was being.
I mean hello, you hear me? You can
Somebody
hear me?
call you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
sorry man, my supervisor just called me, she want me to do something, but I do my final I'll do it.
So I thought Yeke really knew what to do. He wanted to do something, but the CDC government was not giving him the time to do it. You know, all of the attack that they were attacking him at home, his family, and all of that. Seriously, I swear to God, that's what I thought. I did not support Yeke about insulting and something, but I was upset that they were treating him like he wasn't,
I
elected,
mean
right?
we all in the same boat, but the
I
reason
like what this government is doing.
the innocent
Joseph
Yeke.
Boga has children who are even Yeke age or someone older than Yeke. Look at the way Yeke has insulted her mother and her father. Do you see anybody pay him mind to even say one
Nobody.
word to him?
Nobody.
That's why I exposed Yeke altogether. Nobody touching him. Nobody stopping him from doing his job. Nothing. That's what exposed Yeke. If they were going to be chasing him, running behind him, I was going to think the same way too. But I'm
And I
so
mean
glad they're not doing that.
before my brother come in. I mean let me say this right before Sherry come in. Look,
So sorry.
sorry. I mean sorry, yeah. One of the thing the government doing already enjoying them. The innocent him. And one of the things Yeke always doing, look, Yeke, two people Yeke can cause, it can help me to the extent I say, it let the man get wealth. He can look up the first day he will cause that woman that they say the equal. Then Mandela Cooper, oh my God. So what kind of lawmaker are you? That you bring the issue, let the people discuss the issue. Instead of you to insult the people and attack them personally. Look, it just look. End of the day, for me, if I grade Yeke and Meton Blai, I'll give Meton Blai the highest grade than Yeke. Then Yeke, because Yeke only survive in noise. Yeke not survive. Yeke can survive in civilized place. Yeke is not civilized. All Yeke know is just to cost. But the end of the day, like be right now today, and let me conclude on this, right? All the things he's doing. He thinks he's a 2029 job we are now will support him and Allah. Because the people already know that the people that supported him costing them the day. Right?
That's why.
So you
That's why
think
when people
CDC
call him, you get consistent. I don't understand what is consistent. What
Yeke is
is
not
consistent?
consistent.
He salty. Yeah, that's the only part. But not in everything. He flip flopped
but
on
what
the
they built,
support. So
but
that
what
is
they
not
built,
consistency.
what they
He
built
only
Yeke,
flip to the side that he can survive.
I
If he
mean,
can't survive to the other side, he flip on the other side. That is not consistency. The only thing you can say he been some consistency is insulting. That's the only thing you can say about your cat.
yeah. I mean, while the bill, since the government came to power, what the bill that Yeke now compose and put on the floor for people to vote upon for the benefit of Liberians. Can
Just
anybody tell
say
me?
10. Don't get to like the whole library. Just say district 10.
Okay, yeah, here, district. Now, some of these questions I want to ask. You want can be causing man, call it because that there all. Oh,
But
I put a bill for free education. I put so money we advocating. Turn that kind and talk. Bring the paper and the document. Let's see how many people will vote for it. Then we say, yeah, you get working. But every day you cause man, cause all the costs. And still we're gonna cause you cannot cause it. But end of the day, that bring people washing him. Tony not coming. We
Yeah, you
are
get
here.
this year, Bobby. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you get enjoy. Hey, enjoy
Hey,
this.
yeah, enjoy. Go ahead, my brother.
I mean, Yeke, I don't got no comment on Yeke, man. Yeke is only known like Senator Dillon said when the man go to session, they put in other. When he called out, I don't think you know that
But
he's a
and I want
representative.
all of us yeah. But I mean I wanted to throw that I know you're discussing because I want to throw that uh on the invitation that was given to JMB for the summit.
Boy, you give no choice. Like, we already not past.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, doing your closing.
All right, no, all right. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good conversation. Always,
I'll be the last to close.
let's keep having these conversations to strengthen it. We talk about the communication or the invitation from President John to our president, Joseph Boaga, and we hope that that conversation will be very fruitful. That conversation brings something to Liberia and get what we are to get. That it reflect on the life of our citizen. And we talk about the issue about Milton Black, Milton the evangelist man. And I think he's doing good job. And let him, for me, I'll just advise him, let him refrain from paying attention because he said one thing to politicians, the only situations, they only value people in a particular situation or during a particular time, and which speak a lot. And I think he's always focused on his rehabilitation program, and I think that is a very good thing. Like you said, everyone has their past. Do not give ears to politicians to distract you from your program because normally when you get deep into politics at a certain point in time, the real thing you're doing for Liberia, you get distracted. Well, Liberia politics is very, very funny and narrow-minded. So I think it was a good show. I keep having these conversations always. Thanks to everyone in the comment section. Our own Oman, man, Ruth, everyone in the comment section doing it well with up out of the time. We enjoy the interactiveness. Let's keep sharing the platform as we grow it together. There's a new project. we hope that we can always do it together. Thank you very much always for hosting us as well, Amy.
No problem. We're doing this together, right?
You
We're
want me?
always doing it together.
You want me to do my own now, I mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, my sister, and thank you for holding the platform, man. You really doing well. Yeah. When I try to get it Sunday
I
night,
like bro, woman, I get to do what you feel.
yeah. Oh no, no, that like, say you like say no, we're getting the whole country. You like brought
Yeah,
national team.
yeah, exactly.
We'll get I know we're gonna deal with trophy or what, yeah, but again, it was a great show. Although our business, I followed the show. And I listened to some of the topic and want to tell our followers thank yous. We want to tell y'all keep sharing our show. There's a new platform from Monday to Thursday. You'll always be on it. You'll share it to all the people that follow us on Spoon Friday to Saturday. We appreciate you guys so much, man. Roof, my brother Tommy. Look, y'all, when one call your Nisa, when I even call everybody name, but want to say thank you. We appreciate y'all for coming on our platform. There's a new platform we are creating. It will be on. We'll be giving you Arisina will be giving you news from Liberia as well. You follow it, I can always share it and thing when they're giving news when the platform is on. And let me go directly to the issue. Today was it was a great day for Liberia.
Mhm.
All of 50 some more countries in Africa, 5 selected by President Trump, and we know the type of president he is. And our president of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yimabwaga, was one of the person who was invited for the summit. I think the American government recognized Liberia on the right path. Everything is not bread and butter. Everything is not gold and diamond, but we are heading there, and we can. And the government of the United States of America can see the structure that Joseph Yimabwaga is carrying on, and he want to hear his own story, his success story, and also where he falling short, and to explain to the people why he need help, and maybe in the process, this government can get a good help. And I see people trying to compare the both. It was 49 people who 49 countries were invited. Georgia were among them. They never invited 5 countries in Africa, and Georgia be among one of the 5. I challenge anybody to bring me the report.
Let's not
And
make it about George. We are. Let's in George.
no. I saw a lot of people posting today, and on the spoon, Sony, I made some recommendation. But end of the day, we are Liberians.
Oh yeah, they'll always
But
do that.
what we will not accept for people to misinform our people, to people to say for people to say things that is not right, that is not happy. And you understand? So we
Yeah.
want to tell the Trump government thank you for sending that invite, and our president for your hard work, and your dedication to our nation. Mr. President, you are doing well. Oh, it's not bread and butter, or it's not roses. It will come a time
You got the pound, yeah.
we
Go ahead.
we we don't matter, man. It will come a time Liberian will understand that Liberia is on the right track. So Mr. President, keep on the good work. Don't listen to haters. They will say what they want to say. But end of the day, your work is showing out. You are prosecuting people who stole the Liberian people money, and some of them now in Haiti, some of them trying to flee the country, and you are bringing dignity and respect to the nation, nationwide. The world now recognize Liberia as people of business. It's not people of playboys. You know, when the other people are there want to call them playboys, but the people that are there, they call them men. You know, men in power. You can know. Even when I 5 people, even when I 2 people, Liberia will be among them, because the United States recognize Liberia now. The government had work, had transparent. The government fighting corruption. The government are doing selective. They are doing it in a very holistic way that even the president friends, people who implored, they are banned, what? Suspended and under investigation. That's how a government of men work. It's not a government of boys.
People
So
go.
so I want to say thank you, Ami. You know, anytime I get you, I will fire that been so on my head every day. But I enjoy, I enjoy the platform. I will always, when I get you, I will always show fair, and we'll share the show so many people can listen to us. And we will also invite people.
Mm-hmm.
to make sure and watch our show. Thank you. Don't mind
We're
Vasco.
about to start arranging about bringing guests on. We wanted to wait till we get
Mm-hmm.
the radio thing set up first before we
Mm-hmm.
start bringing guests and stuff. Um, to appear, but we're getting it. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you guys for we're always grateful for our followers
Yep.
on YouTube and Facebook and our commenters, commenters, Mount Ruth and Mount Willett, Lynn Lackwell, Tommy, Francis, Wilson. You guys are rock star, And the ones that are not commenting that we can't see, you are all rock star. Thank you for following us and helping. This is our community, right? And then where we at talking about Liberia. And like I always say, this is not any particular party platform. This is for every Liberian,
Yep.
Come
Mm-hmm.
on, whether you CDC, you ANC, you working on CLPP, whatever PP, come on. Can represent your party. We come here, we argue it. That's what made the show even hot because
Yep.
when you come and say things that is not resonating with other people that know this, it didn't happen that way, and then they would try to your argument. So it makes the show more protected, more
Yeah.
interesting. That's what we want. So come out, don't just be in the comment section. Like we'll say, I'm still waiting for you. So send me your number so I can send you the and so thank you all for calling for coming on and watching us every day. We appreciate you. We love you and we know you love Liberia. That's why you're doing it. You're not doing it because Emmy got red face or you're not doing it because mobile show up late or sorry. Sorry always here.
Go
That's not why
example. Go example. Yeah. Go example. Let me
you're
hear what.
here because
No, let me hear what. Let me.
we all love Liberia. That's why we're here. We're not getting
Let me
paid
hear
for
what.
this.
I mean.
We're not journalists. We're not getting paid to do this.
Nope.
So you're here because you love Liberia like us, and we just want to say. And I know most of the time politics, but we will be messing it up too with some, issue that are affecting our people. Some things that is going on that we want the government to pay attention to. We'll be highlighting those things then too. We just trying to trying to get our grip onto things because it's new. This is a new community, and so that's what we're doing. So keep on supporting us and keep on showing up. And the timing too. We're working on that. We're supposed to start at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and which is 12 in Liberia. But like I said, my brother they can be dragging that feet then. So y'all bear with us. We will get it by the grace of God. So with that being said, thank y'all so much. We appreciate you. Let us all what think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia, right? Happy what was the team again? Unification Day? No, that's not it. What was that day? What was the team of that President Walker something again?
That's
The team.
what people saying calling him.
We call you
Well,
for
no,
what?
we close. What Vasco said we finish.
Fast forward. You want
Ain't
to
no
drink
call
on the show
tomorrow.
tomorrow?
So
Call you for what?
we which is the 5th. When is the 5th? On Friday?
He, he said pray and worship. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Been
Yeah,
there.
yeah. No, no, no.
The
The
5th.
fifth, the fifth will be Saturday. The fourth will be Friday.
Okay, so yeah, we will come in and also celebrate that day with everybody, right? That like the president said, like we always do. We did it with the president, Reed Berry, and other healing our past, building our tomorrow together. That's the team. Healing our past and building our tomorrow together. That's the team for the memorial service on July 5th. So we thank the president and his team for thinking about this, and we pray and hope that all Liberians, even our Sakimoji brothers and sisters, this should be something that we all embrace. This got nothing to do with politics. Please let us do this. This might have some positive, by the grace of God, positive, impact on our country. some of the blood, innocent blood that was shared, we are being recognized. This is something good for our country. We need to all put together and put the politics aside a little bit and embrace this. And
of course, my
everybody,
sister.
please attend and let this day happen for our country. And let it be like we're calling the government to make it a holiday thing for for every year, like an annual thing. It be happening every year, and not for these people to not be forgotten. So
Vasco,
with that,
Vasco.
we thank you. We thank you, and you know, see you guys willing tomorrow. Continue to share the show. Thank you. Good night.